me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Tony, you're on mute, mate. You're on mute. You're mute.
Good evening, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, welcome to the Transfer Show on It's All Black and White TV, and I'm joined by John Sinclair. How are you tonight, John?
Good evening to Tony. Sorry I'm a little bit late. It's just trying to get me PC sorted out, but I'm here. So it's been a long day. Got finished late today. Well, I could have got finished at 3:15, and then I could have finished 5:15. So listen, I'm okay, man. How's you?
Yeah, John, I'm not too bad. Not too bad at all. I mean, we've got a couple of things we'll get into in a moment. Well, first of all, just some breaking news there, guys. So last night, as you know, I did the Carabao Cup draw semi-final live as well. I think at one point I had 52 viewers watching. But today I've actually smashed through the 1,000 views on my show from last night. So I've smashed 1,000 views, highest viewing ratings I've had. So that's well done on my channel. Didn't expect it, to be fair. The last time I done the Carabao Cup, I think I got about just under 700 views. So this time I got over 1,000, and what a great effort. And got some new subscribers last night as well, including a Manchester United fan. And big up to all of them. And I just want to thank everybody who's subscribed so far. And a great effort all round. So guys, before I get into the show, if you like what you see, please smash the likes. There's 16 watching at the moment. Please smash those likes. It really does help the channel up the search results and means people can find it more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. That is free to do so and helps the channel grow. And also the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. So I'm currently sitting on 265 subscribers as it stands. I'm only 35 away from 300. So that'd be fantastic if I got to that by the end of January. That would be a fantastic effort, considering my channel's only 3 months old as well. I'll just get into some... well, in fact, before I go to comments, John, I mean, we had some breaking news just a couple of hours ago. And that was the breaking news that Joe Linton sadly got stopped for drink driving and has been charged by Northumbria Police. He's got to appear at magistrates at the end of the month. I mean, right, guys, first of all, I know a lot of people are out there and they're probably saying, yeah, okay, fair enough. But one, it couldn't come at a worse time. Two, don't condone drink driving whatsoever. I mean, surely you know yourself, don't drive, simple as. And I'm sure it's a major own goal that Joe Linton scored. Maybe he's realising now, maybe he's regretting what he's done. And at the end of the day, the club will deal with it in whichever way they feel. They'll suit them, that they feel a way to deal with it. But they'll probably just say the police will have to carry out their own investigations and do it their way. But not a great start. I mean, such a shame. We're on a high from the Carabao Cup to this. I mean, John, just give me your thoughts on J7.
Well, I haven't heard the news at all today. I'm not gonna admit this is the first I've heard of it because I've been quite busy at work today. But yeah, that's not good for Joelinton, man. I mean, what he's thinking of, like, do you know what I mean? You can't be doing that at all whatsoever. Drink driving is not great, and my advice to people out there and all the sports people, please do not drink and drive. And I'll look at Julie J's comment as well. No doubt would be suspended by the club. I can't see that happening. I'd be absolutely amazed if he did. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, I'm disappointed that he had to take that route. And quite rightly so. He's being charged with drink driving. I can't defend the guy. I just cannot, Tony. At the end of the day, just don't do that. He's had a cracking season. Why does he do that? It's got to be done. I mean, if he got caught drink driving, I don't drink, by the way, but if he did, we expect the same thing. So footballers should not get any special treatment at all whatsoever. Doesn't matter who you are. Lionel Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, Joelinton should not get any special dispensation as well. No way. It's the law. It's the law. Do not drink and drive. It is that simple. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, John. I mean, we know drink driving can ruin lives. We've seen it happen many a time. We've seen it on the news. People have lost, family members through drink driving. Well, it was quite a while ago now, but if you remember the Plymouth Argyle goalkeeper, Luke McCormick, he'd been at a party all night drinking. And then drove about 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, and then had that accident where he killed, I think, a mum and 2 kids, or something like that anyway. And he actually got jailed for that. But I mean, that's what we're saying. It just destroys lives. If you're going to have a drink, get a taxi home, simple as. It's. I know people might say it's hindsight now, but at the time, you should think, well, should I really drink? Or should I drive? What's your option? Maybe he wishes now he got a taxi to wherever he was going to and got a taxi back, or even a chauffeur-driven car. The money he's got, we couldn't afford probably a chauffeur-driven car, but we could afford a taxi if you go out. But disappointing. But I don't want to dwell too much on it, John, because obviously, it's what's happened. Let the club and let the police deal with it now. I'm sure all fans have got different opinions on this. And we know, an outside noise out of the club, like out of our fan zone, like other fans and clubs, they're going to start beating the jungle drums. But you know what? Just ignore them, guys. Ignore the jungle drums from outside, because they're going to have their say on it, but just let them get on with it. Simple as. Don't bite back to anybody whatsoever, because you're just going to get into an argument, and they're just going to be doing it for clicks and likes. So don't get into it, guys. So I'll get into some comments first of all. And Toon Revival was first in at 6:30 tonight. So now before the show, he said, I love to see most fans defending Joe for drink driving. Yet if it was any normal person, you'd pound their mouth. I honestly think Heady will look bad if he plays him. Again, we can't comment. We don't know what the club are going to do. I'm sure the club might make some statement. I mean, Eddie Howe will have his press conference tomorrow for the Fulham game. I'm sure that's going to dominate his press conference tomorrow. And let's see how Eddie Howe handles that. And that's the thing. You might not want to see anything, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. Mighty Mag says, hi, Tony Noel. Hope you're doing well. Great to see Qual off to Hearts. We can see him with us next season of Premier League, and with Europe looking good, this could be a cheap option ready-made. Yeah, totally agree. But one thing we can't do is heap too much pressure on the lad. Got to give the lad time to develop as well. He's come to a totally different country, a different climate as well. In Australia, yes, it's our winter, it's their summer, it's red hot over there. It's quite a warm country, and to come from that to a cold country, and now he's gone up to Scotland to Hearts. It's even colder again in Edinburgh, so he's gonna find it. He's gonna have to acclimatise to that. But I'm sure we'll all watch. I'm sure we've all got I'm sure we're all following Hearts now on Twitter and on Facebook or whatever platform we use, and we'll all want to see what progress he makes. So, and no doubt when Hearts are playing on Sky Live, we'll all be tuning in to watch that and see how he does, if he plays or if he comes off the bench. Well, good luck to the lad, and let's hope Hearts look after him. Troll says, evening, Tony. Evening, Trolls. I hope you're well, mate. And then everybody's asking. Ian saying, hi, Ian. Hope you're well. He says, disappointed in Joe Linton. Should have known better. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
Ian. Totally agree, 100%. He should have known better. You know, I mean, it's like the police have these campaigns and everything. They'll say, do you really want to drive? Or do you want to have somebody who goes with you and drives? I mean, I've done it before where I've gone out and I've drove people around and I've been the driver of the night. And yeah, okay, I'll have a couple of non-alcoholic beers like a Beck's Blue or something like that, which has got no alcohol in it at all. It doesn't taste nice, but I'd rather have that than have something alcoholic and get pulled over for it. So, yeah. Mighty Max says, I hope we aren't going to have this Joe Linton story all night. No, I mean, we'll go through the comments. It's probably in the comments, but then we're going to turn on to transfers in a moment anyway, or who's been linked with the club anyway, that's for sure. Troll says, I will bring Big Joe back on the pitch. Hope he's learned from his incredibly stupid thing he did. Yeah, he's possibly even apologised to the club as well. You know, it's I think if I remember rightly, John, I think this might be the first thing that's happened since the new owners have come in.
Yeah.
So something for them to deal with, John, isn't it?
Yeah, I think absolutely right. You probably club will get a club fine when the time is right, but to get him suspended, I think that's a bit hard. Well, that's down to the club at the end of the day. I can't see being suspended because it's just comes down to money, but he'll get fined. Obviously, what he did, he's going to get fined by the club, and he's going to be warned about his future conduct. But look, at the end of the day, like Drew said, and a few others in the chat as well, I hope he has learned from this. Hope he learned this lesson. It's a credible, silly thing to do, and he'll regret this because at the end of the day, right? I mean, you just can't go out and drink driving, just can it? Because
you can't.
He's got a family now, and he could put his family in danger as well if he took you out driving while he's drinking. Just don't do it.
Yeah, totally agree, John. Totally agree with you, mate. Nell says, big Tony boy. Thank you very much, Nell. Hope you're well. Mighty Max says, in my opinion, I think the club will say it's been dealt with internals. So he won't get dropped. Just a near fault and a week or so pay to be donated to the food bank. Yeah, maybe. We'll find out though. Or we may not find out. The club might not. The club don't have to tell us what they're doing. They don't have to. They can just see what's happening behind closed doors and that's it, done. They could just put a brief statement out. It's been sorted out behind closed doors. It's all dealt with and that's it now. Let's move on. So we can't afford to bench or suspend Big Joe, to be honest, as Trolls. Again, it's speculation. We don't know what's going to happen, so we'll just wait and see. Pablo, evening Tony, says, where do you see Cole going out for Scotland? Yes, he's got the Hearts, Paul. He's got the Hearts on loan. Yeah, so he's up at Tynecastle now, and that's Keith Downey's team as well, Hearts. Yeah. Trolls is saying, hey, John.
Hey, Trolls. How are you?
How are you, the lads? Maggot Drowner says, don't need Madison or Diavio, Makuko and Tielemans, please. Okay.
I think Tielemans' his chance of coming to Newcastle ain't going to happen because of his performance the other night when Joe Linton absolutely awed him, by the way. I'm not going to lie. But I didn't think Tielemans was that great at all whatsoever. I think, honestly, I think he could be done in English football. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. Pablo says, John the Legend is back in the house.
Thank you. Yeah, baby. The legend's back. I mean, you know, you got, all these. Do you like soul music, Tony? Like soul music like Marvin Gaye, Barry White, and Stevie Wonder. All these legends as well of their own soul music as well. My God, they were fantastic over the years.
Yeah.
Talking
about music icons, we've just lost one last night, and that was Jeff Beck, due to bacterial meningitis. So, yeah, that's another legend gone, isn't it? So, Jeff Beck, rest in peace.
I know, and I think he's a Wolves fan, if memory serves us correctly, because they play that song where the players comes out. So, massive loss in his industry.
Yes.
Rest in peace, Jeff Beck. And listen, we lost another fantastic British musician.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Totally agree, 100%. Matey Mag says, "Love Diaby and Madison, can only dream." We'll get on to them. We'll get on to the players anyway. Wordle, good evening. Good evening, Wordle. Hope you're well. First time on the channel. Welcome aboard. Leslie says, "Let the Lord deal with J7." Absolutely. Totally 100%.
Leslie, I got your email, by the way, Leslie. And yeah, that's cool. That's absolutely fine. We'll reply back later on a day. And then we'll sort things out.
There we go. Gareth says, "Good evening, Tony and the legend, John." Good evening, Gareth. I hope you're well, Gareth. Mate. Yeah, she says, "I've emailed you." Julie says, "No doubt you'll be suspended by the club." Again, it's speculation. We don't know. And we'll just have to wait and see if the club release any sort of statement. Wayne says, "Really angry, disappointed, and most of all, I'm gutted." In Big Joe, the lad should know better. Yeah, he should. I mean, we've all been there. We've all made mistakes. I mean, it's a lot of footballers have made mistakes. I mean, you know, Tony Adams made mistakes. He spent time inside. You know, players have done it, and there's been many a player done for drink driving as well. So Joe Linton's not the only one. He won't be the last one either. That's the thing. Look at Darren Gibson, you know, from Sunderland, the ex-Man U player. He got done for it, didn't he? So, yeah, there's a long list you could reel off of people that have done it. Joel says, "I will not defend drink driving, but we need him on the pitch." Yeah, that's a different matter. We'll just have to wait and see. Paul says, "Evening, lads. Let's see how Fulham are tonight and see where we can exploit them." Yeah, exactly. They've got to play tonight, and that's the thing. They've got a game, so they've got a shorter rest period than what we have. Jason says, "One big silly mistake, he will learn from it." Yes, he will, and he'll realise the mistake he's made. Julie says, "We do need him on the pitch, but I do think the club need to make an example of him." I can see where you're coming from on that, Julie, and yeah, I totally agree with that, because as much as we want him on the pitch, but I suppose you have to make a stand and say, look, because he's a role model. I mean, because how well he's played now under Eddie Howe, how Eddie Howe's got him playing so well, and, you know, now kids are looking up to him as a role model, and if they see this happening, they're going to think, oh, well, I'll look at him as a role model, but he's not really a role model at that. So maybe the club may do something. I don't. It's just something to wait for the club to come out, and they don't have to tell us what they're doing. But you know, it maybe he gets left out. We don't know. Well, shit happens. No one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Take your punishment and learn from it. Exactly. That's it. He's got to go to the magistrates, take his punishment, and get on with it after that. Yes, it'll probably be a driving ban and a heavy fine. But yeah, he'll learn from it. I'm sure he will. Joe Linton's announced. He says, "Need signings in." Yes, we do, mate. Yeah. He's talking to Charles as well. Tune Revival says, "For me, it's shameful. Our owners are built on a country that doesn't now drink in public, so they won't be happy with this all over the news." Again, this is the UK compared to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, they might not like it, but it's one of those things that's happened now, and we just got to deal with it. And this is a test to say our owners will deal with this as well, because this is something for them new to deal with. So we just wait and see what happens. Andrew says, "All right, lads." Yeah, you are right, mate, as well. I hope you're fine, Andrew. Hi, Tony John and all says, "I like coffee." Hi, I like coffee. Hope you're well.
Big up to I like coffee.
Leslie says, "You are definitely following me, Andrew."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, come on. So it's a friendly show. Not only joking. Yeah, I know what you mean,
Yeah.
Twitter. Jason says, if he phoned me, I would have drove him. Yeah, true. Yeah. I'm sure everybody would have given him a lift. Blakey says, I'd go all out for Mokoko. He looks an incredible talent. Him and Qual could be our future for a very long time. Yeah, we're going to get into them in a moment once we get through these comments and catch up. I don't drink alcohol, says I like coffee. Troll says, no, Les, I'm following you. Hi, Andrew, where we go next? Pablo says, I can see G7 getting a club fine and probably a driving ban. Yeah, he'll definitely get a driving ban. He'll get a fine off the courts as well.
No question about
and
that.
And then he'll have to pay a victim surcharge. Andrew says, I'm not telling you, Les, love. Markson, he says 80 milligrams of alcohol per 100 millilitres of blood, or 35 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath in Brazil. There is no limit with him. With a 50 grand fine, he's been on Brown Ale. So there we go. Thank you for that, Mark.
You go.
Love your badge, Julie says.
I do as well.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, because I've noticed that.
Julie says, I hate alcohol, only drink on rare occasions.
I don't drink at all, people. I don't drink at all.
Foxy says, lost a good friend from drink driving, so no sympathy for Joe Lent. Not acceptable. How much do you get paid a week? How much is a taxi? Risking his own life and others. Awful decision making. I totally agree, Foxy. I mean,
100%.
That's what I was saying before. He's got the money. He could have either had a chauffeur-driven car, or he could have said, look, I'll get a taxi, even if it costs him 30, 40 quid wherever he was going to. You know, he can afford that. It wouldn't dent his bank balance too much. Julie says, thanks, been trying to few out lately. So Ian says, we had 5 players in the League Cup team of the week, not bad going. No, I mean, that's brilliant, Ian. I mean, yeah, 5 players. I mean, both fullbacks as well, Dan Burn and Kieran Trippier in that team. Were absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we're going to get onto that in a moment as well. Foxy, unfortunately, drink driving is a pretty normal thing in South America, where if the police pull you over, you can just pay them off. Should be aware by now that doesn't quite work in England. Yeah, exactly. Totally different country. Paul says, reckon we'll be lucky to see anyone in this window, like probably be a CDM if we do. That off. So they're only going to go for the deals that are right. And, you know, we could be sitting here and say next week or the week after, there could be 2 or 3 come through the door. You don't know. It's just the club are probably working behind the scenes hard on deals, and it's just trying to get them sorted out. You've got to get the selling club to sell first. That's the most important thing. Let's see. Thanks, John. Pablo says there are some players who have done far worse, but not naming names. Yeah, exactly. Wayne says, look at Gaza. Best every day. Everybody makes mistakes and you learn from them. Yeah. Again, Gaza, yeah. A shame, because he did. If he'd gone to Manchester United with Alex Ferguson, he probably would have been a totally different guy he is today. But, you know, he didn't. He went to Tottenham, and yeah. Tony's in the chat, the Chef Wed fan. Hi, Tony. Hope you're well, mate. He says, hi, Tony in chat. Don't forget, Grealish caught on camera, ploughing into park cars, get a taxi time and time again. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I remember seeing that footage as well. It was really bad, wasn't it? And yeah. Christopher says, Pablo, I was literally thinking the same thing. An ex-player down the road and top brass knew about it for ages, yet he still played. Yeah. Andrew says, he's Joe Linton. He only costs 40 million. We think he's a pisshead. It's Joe Linton. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Andy, on that one. But it's the driving side of it. Troll says, I never drink to the point where I get drunk. No, you don't need to be. He could have got the Metro, says Andrew. Yeah, he could have. Always taxis on ranks outside of pubs and clubs. Yeah, spot on, Julie. Absolutely spot on. And so to trolls. I mean, yeah, John. I mean, last night we had the Carabao Cup draw.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you did a show, I did a show as well.
Yeah.
I think I was on a bit longer than what you were because I was on just over an hour. And when I came off, there were still 44 people watching when I came off. So it was like,
Yeah.
but I was getting to the stage I needed to go to bed because I had to get up for 5 for work. So, but yeah, we had the Carabao Cup draw again. Sky didn't do it bang on time like they said. The last time it didn't happen till after 10:30. They said 10:15. It was near about 10:20 when it actually started.
Mm-hmm.
But Jill Scott and Onuoha, both Mackhams, by the way,
Yeah.
done the draw. Unusual, that isn't it? I mean, I know he played for City as well, but he was a Mackham as well, wasn't he? But
He was.
In fact, didn't he play? Wasn't he involved in that game where we won 4-1? Because didn't he score an own goal as well?
He did. I remember that as well. I can. But,
and then Albert Lucky wraps it up.
Exactly. I mean, look, we signed out with Lucky when he's injured, by the way, right? But so we should never. So if he was injured on a medical, I would have waited till the following season. But he just didn't want to be at Newcastle, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? He didn't want to be here. And I can remember the match against Charlton when his number came up. He ran down the tunnel so quickly. He must have thought he was a bit like catching a flight to Spain.
Yeah, exactly, John.
I was there.
Yeah.
Aye. And I thought, I tell you what, he had such a poor game, but the quickest turn of foot he had all day is running down that tunnel so quickly.
I mean, we were surprised last night that Southampton beat Man City at St Mary's. Now, I don't usually, do you sort of criticise Pep Guardiola? Did he go with the mindset against Southampton? I'm going to leave a few big players out and I'm going to play a few fringe players because even the team I'll put out, I'll beat these anyway. And do you think he's gone into there with no respect over Southampton, John? I mean, and he's took them lightly.
I think he picked a team, right, with the Man United game in hand over the weekend. That is the thing I'm getting, do you know what I mean? Because he'd rather play a stronger team on Saturday, obviously, because it's a massive game. But I've thought, me personally, Man City's got a world-class team. We know that. Right? Whoever Pep plays, right, know they're going to do an absolute great job. But he got caught out last night. Do you know what I mean? He got absolutely caught out. I mean, on another day, another way, I think he would have beat Southampton quite easily. But the second half, they got the big hitters on. Even Erling Haaland, De Bruyne, right? And even Ake. And they had zero goal attempts with not one shot on goal. And that is unlike Man City. And I couldn't believe that on the stats. I couldn't believe it at all. But to be fair to Southampton, they've done the job, done the number. They got through. They won the game. But I tell you one thing, Tony. We'll not be playing a weakened squad down there. There's just no way. We're there to win that game. And I think we'll win it. But I think Southampton will put up a better fight than they did the last time.
Yeah, I do, John. I mean, looking at Sky, they've got both games down for the same night, Forest and Man U, and us against Southampton. But that's on the Tuesday. But 2 days prior to that, Man U were playing Arsenal away at the Emirates. So, what's Man U's dealings for this Carabao Cup game? Because away to Forest is going to be tough for them, John, because the City ground is starting to look a bit harder to go to now for visiting teams. And, they've got that huge game against Arsenal. And then the week I think it's a week the Carabao Cup goes to the second leg, John.
Yeah.
On Thursday, the 2nd of February, I think they've got it, or on the, I'm not sure, John. I know somebody was saying that apparently they're playing Barcelona as well in that Europa League. Now, whether that's on that week of the Carabao Cup, I'm not sure. I mean, are Man U going to be able to afford to keep playing a full-strength team? Or do you think they will play a weekend side against Forest?
Excuse me. I think Erik ten Hag will find a way of playing the best team possible. That is going to be a problem for Man United. I really, really do. But he's going to take priorities there. I think the Barca game, I'm not sure he's going to be bothered about that, to be fair. And it goes to show, all these fixture pilots going to come and batting on the bum. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know what to say. But I'm sure that he's going to play like a mix and match team against Forest in the Carabao Cup. I think. I'm not sure. But they've got a big squad. But he's got a problem. I think Ten Hag's got a problem. They got Fagels as well. They're going to get him, by the way. And they got a problem, man, because it's a fish to pile up, and it's not going to be good for the players, man. But I'm sure Ten Hag will find a way of putting the players right at the right time. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, the draw came out yesterday, so we're away to Southampton first leg, home the second leg. I mean, it's a terrific draw, John. I've just said, as long as if we don't get Man United, I don't care who we get. You
exactly.
know, even if we go down to Southampton and it's only a 0-0 draw, they've got to come to St James's Park, and Southampton won't enjoy coming to St James's Park now. And I know Nathan Jones got that result, but he's done really bad in the Premier League. And yes, they've beat a Man City team who brought then Haaland and De Bruyne on and Foden on, had the big guns on. But they've got a huge game at the weekend, Southampton, and they've got to win that game. I mean, because they're really struggling at the bottom of the league, aren't they, John? And I just think, I think it's Everton they've got the weekend, isn't it? If I remember right.
Away to Goodison.
Yeah, they're away at Everton. So that's a huge 6-pointer for Southampton. They've got to win that game because they're adrift at that bottom. So this result could spur them on to win.
Yeah.
I like to think, John, we should have enough quality to beat Southampton. But I tell you one player who must be kicking himself now, and that must be Martin Dubravka, because he can't play in the Carabao Cup at all because he's now cup tied. And Darlow's now got his place on the bench. I mean, we get the cup final. Darlow will be cup final reserve goalkeeper. Dubravka will just be sitting on the back and the sidelines. I mean, do you think he's kicking himself now, John, to go to Man United because he's cup tied now?
For me personally, I mean, I do like Martin Dubravka, but for me, I have to agree with Paul and Billy to away. He should never played in that game against Wednesday. He should never play for Newcastle ever again, in my opinion, for what he did. And, he caused a strop when he's told that Nick Post could be on one keeper. He didn't like it, so he wanted to away. Goes to United. And the same thing happening. Kind of get into the game, get into the team. But he's in the middle. He's stuck in the middle now, Dubravka. And if I was Martin, I would suggest find a new club, Tony, because at the end of the day, look what's happened to us now. We're one step away from Wembley, and he could have been a part of that. But it's his fault. I mean, if he just acted professionally, right, then I'm sorry. But I think it is what it is. But for me, I don't think Dubravka's heart is in Newcastle. He said really clear in the summer. Then he did this statement to the fans, which I think most fans aren't going to buy into it. Once you break the camel's back, that is it. And I think for now, Dubravka now we need to be aware. He needs to be moved on very quickly, because what we don't want, Tony, is someone is going to upset the apple cart. Do you know what I mean? And we just don't want bad apples at the club. I mean, I wish Dubravka well if he does decide to go for what he's done over the past, and he's been a fantastic keeper for us. But I'm afraid to say his time's up, and I will never pick him again. Sorry.
Yeah. Totally agree, John. Julie says, used to drink Newcastle, meaning the Tuxedo Princess. Yeah, we remember that on the quayside. Floating nightclub. Pablo says, so John, when we make the final, is it Newcastle United or Manchester United for you?
That's going to be a tough... You're talking about prediction. That's going to be a tough game. Do you know what I mean? But Newcastle...
No, he means which side, John? Which side will you be on?
No. Make sure.
Are you going to buy your half and half shirt, John?
No, no, Newcastle all the way. But it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be as close as people make that to be. We defend well, then we'll win the game. But if you allow players like Rashford to start scoring goals again, and Bruno Fernandes doing the stuff, and Casemiro looks after the back four, which he's done absolutely fantastic at the minute since he's came through the door at Old Trafford. People say the guy's done. No, he's not. This guy's brilliant. He really is. 5 La Liga titles, the same with the Champions League, and people are dissing him, saying that he's done Real Madrid, got rid of it. I think Real Madrid are missing him. I think they're badly missing him, by the way. I can't lie. We love to have. I'd take Casemiro for 70 million quid. No problems at all. If he's fair at the time, we should have gone for him. Let's be real. But that's being said, if you do meet in the final, I really think Newcastle will see the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's only if Manchester United get there, John. They've got to be Forest yet, and Forest are playing well at the moment, and they've gotten that team now gelling together. So it's not cut and dry for Man United to get to the final. I would love to see Forest get the final, if I'm honest, to play us.
I do as well, but I think United will be too strong for them. I think Ten Hag's turning the corner now. I mean, you've got players are stepping up. Like I said, Martinez is stepping up. Casemiro doing Casemiro things. Rashford, 8 goals straight. Yeah, they defend them properly as well. But I think Forest will give it a go. But I think, and another thing is, Dean Henderson cannot play against his parent club in second leg, and I think that's why they'll find a way.
Yeah. Julie says it killed Jill Scott doing that yesterday. Yeah, I bet it did, being a Mackham. Yeah. Tanji says makes it okay for others have done worse or similar things. A lot of people are saying, seems to me some people think more about their football team rather than a risk of life. Yeah, totally agree. No, we don't agree with it at all. I mean, it's, I hope he learns from it, and that's what he's got to do now. Christopher says, Andrew, the Metro's hardly run proper nowadays, missing tracks, stolen cables, etc. Yeah. Paul says, was just going off to what Keith Downey said on an interview regarding the CDM position. Right, okay then. I'm not backing Joe Linton at all, says Tangi. I'll back the other players who don't break the law. Yeah, I totally agree with you. That's very true, Tangi. And a well said comment, mate. And it's been starred as well.
Absolutely.
He says, very true, Tangi. Yeah, absolutely. And he says, can see City hammering Man United the weekend as revenge for being knocked out of the cup. Yeah, I can see them winning that as well. Julie says, I want City to destroy Man United as well. Andrew says, I've got zero trust in Dubravka now. Yeah. And a coffee, if Man U in the Carabao Cup, does Dubravka get a medal? No, because he's not at Man United. And he wouldn't have been able to play against us if we're in the final as well. So
exactly,
he would have been cup tied. I think Casemiro as well, John, says Wayne. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect in the Newcastle midfield. Absolutely perfect. Bruno and Jolin in the midfield 3. That is possibly a championship winning midfielder right there.
Right, guys. So let's get into the transfer talk, because that's what the show's all about, transfers. So anyway, this guy has been mentioned with Newcastle United, and there's been quite a few strong links over the last few days now. And it's this guy, Moukoko, and 18-year-old, tremendous talent, heck of a goal scorer. Now, it is rumoured that Borussia Dortmund believe that if they're giving him a new contract, that he will stay because he wants to stay at Borussia. But apparently we've gone in above Borussia. This is according to sources, so this is not, I don't know how true it is or what I've seen and read. But apparently we've gone in and offered this guy 150 grand a week to come and play at St James's Park. I mean, I don't know a lot about him, to be honest, because I haven't seen him play. But what I've seen on his stats, they look amazing. I mean, John, first of all, yes, we would have him. But what do you think? What do you make of the report saying that we've gone in offered him 150 grand a week?
Look, I mean, this guy, you said that, this guy is a superb talent. 14 appearances, 6 goals, 4 assists this season. This guy looks the real deal at 18 years old. Could be the one for the future as well. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, offering 150k a week for an 18-year-old. Do we believe the news? Do we believe the reports? But I think if they're going to pay 150k a week, then I think they're going to have to pay Kieran Trippier exactly the same money as well, because he's a top earner at the club. But again, I'd love to have him. He gets rave reviews as well in the Bundesliga. Scores. He's young. He's a German international as well. So I'd love to take him as well for the future. And I think he's getting rave reviews over there as well. And like I said, he's out of contract at the end of the season, Tony. And he'll be on the free, or he could be on the Boston ruling as well. And according to the Evening Standard as well, that we have made a substantial further approach for the striker, leapfrogging Chelsea as well. And you're right, 150k a week. And if they would do it now, they could do it now and get him in, or they could wait till the summer and try and get the lad on the free. But I take him, Tony.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, John. He's not just a player for the future, John. He's a player for now because he's ready-made already. So
he is indeed. 14 appearances, 6 scores this season. You're right. I mean, look, at the end of the day, right, get him in and he could do a job. I mean, look, if he comes off the subs bench as well, couple of games, then it'd be cool. But will he be ready for the first team? I'm sure he will. You've got to put him in the first team. You've got to put him in the first 11. You've got to, because at the end of the day, right, like I say, he's a German international. And like I said, he's ready. He's ready-made. He's made 40 appearances in the Bundesliga. He's made 6 appearances in the Champions League, right? And in the German Cup, he's made 2 appearances as well. So he has made altogether 22 appearances this season. And the good thing is, though, he's not burnt out. And I'm sure Dortmund will look after this guy. But it's the chief executive at the club has come out and he said, if I can find it, I'll make it quick. He spoke to Sky Sports Germany, and that's the Dortmund chief said, I started 18 years ago with the proviso that there might be a little gratitude from time to time, but I've given on that a long time now. He added, gratitude is not a concept in professional football. Sadly, that's realistic case, but I won't hold that against anyone because the business is simply the way it is. So he's not very happy about it. And they know that he could go on the cheap or he can go on the free.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Gary says, well, you know what they say, football's a funny old club, so who knows, Forest may just turn Man U over, lads. They may well do, Gary, because, like I say, you watch Forest at home. I watched them against Chelsea. They should have beat Chelsea. They beat Liverpool at City Ground as well. They were close to beating Tottenham. They should have beat Bournemouth there. But now their team's starting to gel. It's now starting to look a dangerous team. I mean, Serge Aurier looks one heck of a player at the moment. And Renan Lodi's starting to get a little bit better as well. So
he is.
It's all coming in. And Brennan Johnson's starting to be more devastating now. Look at how he was the other week against Southampton. I mean, his pace, he was outstripping them. So Man U could be in trouble with his pace. But yeah, who knows, Gary? And that's one thing that good old Greavesy said many, many years ago. Football is a funny old game, and he's bang on right as well. Foxy says, the fact that Howe had trust in Dubravka versus Sheffield tells us more than what he thinks of Karius and Darlow, maybe poor in training. Yeah, maybe so, or just maybe with Dubravka coming back and saying sorry, maybe Eddie Howe thought I'll just stick him in there and give him a game. Maybe he wanted to give him a game so he can't move in this window. Maybe that was the thing from Eddie as well. Because if Karius goes at the end of this month and say Dubravka didn't play, he could go to another team. So playing Dubravka, I think in a way, it means he can't go anywhere till the summer. Who are the people linking us to Maguire? Don't even get me going there. I like coffee. I haven't got a clue. There must be Muppets because there's no way Harry Maguire is stepping foot on that pitch in our defence because we don't need him. I'd rather keep the cells if I'm honest, if that's the case. And that's saying something. I hope City destroy John's club.
Who said this?
Wayne.
Get out.
How are you, the lad? Says Bruno's 10 times better than back Casemiro. Yes, he is.
Thing is, so right, Bruno is amazing. We know that, yeah. He is an amazing player. Everyone knows that, yeah. But he's more like an advanced midfielder. Casemiro's CDM, and by many, one of the best CDMs in the world. He's won 5 La Liga titles, 5 Champions League, and I hope Bruno will get there. I really will.
Yeah. Wayne says, heard about that player from Dortmund, Tony. His stats look amazing. Yeah, they are absolutely amazing. His stats are like coffee. I'm loving Man U loving press. It'll be the Man U loving press. Yeah, absolutely. Says I like coffee. I mean, so I mean, Lukaku, yeah, will be a great player, great signing, but there's a lot of clubs in for him. That's the problem we've got.
Chelsea,
but you never know.
Well,
but never say never. And Chelsea, well, what do you want me to say about them, John? That owner is an idiot. He's playing FIFA, and the thing is, though, if he wants to go out and buy all these players, I just hope Chelsea don't even finish in the top 7, because it's going to be interesting when they haven't got no European football and they've got all these players at the club. They're all going to be wanting to leave because they want European football. And if Chelsea don't have that at the end of the season, they're going to be in a very, very poor place. And this owner, who knows, could end up getting the club into a lot of trouble, I think. But at the moment, he's just going out there and buying everybody's targets.
exactly.
Because we've pulled out with Trossard, apparently, along with Man U and Liverpool, but Tottenham put a bid in. And now Chelsea are putting a bid in for Trossard. It's amazing, isn't it, John? It's, everybody goes for a target and then Chelsea's name pops up and go, oh, we're going to have a look at him now because, yeah, Chelsea want everybody, don't they? But,
is it Bowie's signing, sort of Graham Potter signings? Because I tell you what, I mean, I'm sure
I don't think that Potter's.
I don't think João Felix is Potter's signing, by the way. He's just a head coach, and I tell you what, right, he needs to fix up real quick. Otherwise, he could be in danger as well. I hope that's not the case, but I think he should stay. I think Potter should stay, and he needs to turn it around. Do you know what I mean? But hey ho.
Yeah. Wayne said, I'm only joking, John. We all know you're a Geordie lad.
Black and white. I get a lot of stick anyway. Who's saying I'm a red? I mean, Macy loves to be a red, but that's not going to happen. No way.
So the other day, this tweet was put out, and Newcastle are planning to make an opening bid for Bayer Leverkusen's 23-year-old striker, Moussa Diaby. So his name's being bandied about again. Them reports are still picking up at the moment. I mean, could we go for him in January? Why not?
Money talks.
I mean, do you know what I'm actually thinking, John, as well? I wonder now, because we're in the semi-finals and PIF were over the other day as well, and that's not just I'm not doing this as I'm not setting any rumours off here, by the way, but they were over. They might have just been over for the game. They could have been talking transfers. They probably would have been talking all sorts. But do you get the feeling, John, the owners now, especially PIF, that we're in the semi-finals and we've got a great chance of getting to a final and winning it? Do you think they're potentially thinking, if we can just get a couple of players in this month now to boost the squad, and players that aren't cup tied, so like players from abroad that can come in and play in the Carabao Cup, that could strengthen our position to win it? I mean, first of all, John, Diaby, could it happen this month? What's your thoughts?
Given the league position that they're in the minutes, I think Xavi Alonso, ex-Liverpool, Real Madrid legend, and he's the coach of Leverkusen, and he's picking up now. For me personally, I think this could be a summer signing. I don't think it'll be a January signing because I think he wants to keep him then, and also he wants to keep him up as well. But money talks, Tony. Money talks, and he's not having the best of seasons, by the way, but he's picking up now, and I'd love to have Diaby and up front to cover for Miguel Almiron as well. But he's quick, he's fast, he scores, and I think the Premier League could be the perfect path for this guy because he is a really good player. And even though he didn't get picked for the World Cup, I still think you need pace, and this guy has got bundles of pace, Tony. How much is going to cost? I think Leverkusen probably asked 60 million, excuse me, 60 million quid. But I don't think Newcastle's going to pay for that. I just don't think they will. I don't know how many years left he's got on his contract. That's another thing. I don't know when his contract's run out.
June 2025, John.
June 2025. So he's got a 2 year left. So they got a bargaining power as well. So they could come on what they want. You know what I mean? He's still a young lad. He's 23 years of age. And it comes down to money. And if you can get this guy, I think it could be our secret weapon. I'd love to see it happen in January. Will it happen? I don't think it will be. I think it'll probably be a summer buy.
Yeah, I mean, he can play left wing, right wing. I mean, he starts this season, 15 games, 15 started. He's been a team of the week twice. He scored 6 goals, 3 assists. So yeah, he's not been too bad really, to be fair. But like you say, will we get him this month? I'm not so sure either, John. But it's one of them. We wait and see, and who knows? But
absolutely,
if he did come in, it would be great. But I do secretly think, or I'm hoping anyway, and I mean, probably, I don't know what other people in the chat think as well, but people in the chat, do you think, because we've done so well now in the Carabao Cup, that we could potentially reach a final, that maybe PIF might want to just bring in a couple of players to strengthen with for that final as well? Get your comments in the chat and let me know what you think. I mean, John, do you think PIF will look to strengthen now that we've got so far in this competition?
I hope they do, because you definitely need 2 or 3 players coming in January to strengthen. I said a couple of times on your show, Tony, and I said it about a couple of weeks ago, while we're third, it's best to strengthen now. While we're third, rather than strengthen if we're 6th or 7th, because they want to come and play in the Champions League. Now, they're going to look at us and say, whoa, we're third in the league. We're having a fantastic season. And I don't see why not. I mean, they want a slice of the pie at Newcastle United, you know what I mean? We're looking great. We're looking playing great football under Eddie Howe. We've got one of the best young managers in the country, you know what I mean? But we need to strengthen big time, because if you look at the subs bench, like it proved on Saturday, it's just not strong enough, do you know what I mean? And also, we're going to need to get rid of the deadwood as well. So I'm not going to get rid. I don't think you can get rid of the 1-on-1 goal, but I think you need to gradually get rid of the deadwood over a couple of windows, and that's the only way. And then, hopefully, in a couple of years' time, we have a squad which we're going to be proud of, if you see what I mean. But you're right.
Yeah. Chris says, Chelsea copying Villa and going after our targets, lol. I mean, yeah, last year we were linked to Boubacar Kamara, Diego Carlos, Philip Coutinho, all went to Villa. And, yeah, it does stink of this again. I don't think Chelsea have their own scouts, as Wayne. No, they just look at what other clubs are doing and then just jump in. Wayne says, when Diaby was on our radar, I was buzzing, hoping he's back on would love him, yeah. Well, that's according to a journalist. Whether it's true or not, again, it's rumours, and we just have to wait and see if it happens. But, you know, look what we did with Bruno last year. Nobody knew he was coming to the club, and all of a sudden you were signed him, and we're like, wow, hang on a minute, you know. Mighty Max says, Chelsea's getting beat 1-0 off Fulham.
Chelsea getting beat?
Chelsea's getting beat 1-0 off Fulham.
Oh, wow. He is under huge pressure now, Potter. Chelsea fans.
It's not his fault, though, John. It's the team he's got, and I don't think them players are together. I mean,
no, not.
Them players are not together, John, and that's why Tuchel lost his job because of it.
Exactly.
But the thing is, Bowley gave him a 5-year deal, so if he sacks him, he's going to have to give him one hell of a big compensation payoff. And that's the problem, John. I just want to see who's. I'm just going to see who scored, John, for Fulham. Willian as well against his old club.
Wow. I wonder if he celebrated, though, Tony. I wonder if he celebrated.
I probably very much doubt he celebrated, John. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, Willian scored. I don't know what his goal was. This said Chelsea winger Willian, and his goal comes from most play from the Blues. Chelsea backline don't learn their lesson, and Di Cordova read chance as Hall gives the ball away to the same attacker. Williams stands the Blues backline up on the left, and his shot takes a huge deflection off Chalobah and nestles in the far post. Off the far post, so there you go. Chelsea could do Nevin if they're not careful. Good, says Andrew. Yeah, they could do, couldn't they? I mean, it's...
They've got some games coming up, but excuse me, by the way. I mean, they haven't got to worry about us. We played them last game of the season. And I tell you what, I said before, that could be a Champions League decider, the last game. But as things stand, that's not going to happen because we'll finish above them on this season. They are rattled, Tony.
Oh, John,
yes.
They are rattled well and truly.
Yes.
Aren't they just? So, yeah, so another player we are still being linked with, John, and I mean, it was very interesting to listen to the manager the other night as well. Mm-hmm. So I'll bring the player on the screen. There he is, James Maddison. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is not going away, this link. And they were asking Brendan Rodgers, and I don't know if you saw his interview, John, but if you watch him, he looks very coy. He looks very sheepish. And they said to Brendan Rodgers, obviously Maddison's back in full training. He's, you're hoping to get him back on the pitch. And he said, and he sort of like hesitated. And he said, well, yeah. And they said, do you think you'll get any signings in this window? And he said, look, he says, we know we need to strengthen. He says, I'm not really sure at this point. In other words, he knows he's not going to get any signings in. That's the thing, John, because he haven't got the money to spend on signings. I mean, like I say, this link's not going away. Mm-hmm. This is the question. I'm going to fire these at you, John, and then I'm going to ask you for your answers, okay? So I'll give you them in order, and then I'll ask you for your answers. So 1, is Maddison really injured? Or is it just putting off because the owners want to sell him this month? 2, is it going to happen? And 3, will he sign for us in this window?
Excuse me. The last one, answer the question 3 would be a no. I think that could be a summer buy if he's available, right? Is he really injured? Well, nobody knows. Brendan Rodgers come out and said that he's been training. So he's not really injured, is he? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, what's the second one, Tony?
Do you think all this is just a ploy, just so that people think he's injured, but really the owners want to sell him, and that's why they're not playing him? Because that's why I felt he didn't play against us and against Liverpool, because the owners want to sell him in January.
Well, it's just anything happening there, Tony. Do you know what I mean? But you're quite right. I mean, obviously that they don't want to play him because they want to sell him. I mean, it's quite obvious they can make some money, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? But we know Leicester haven't got any money, right? So they got to sell one of their best players, and probably Maddison is going to be the one. But that's a good question there, Tony. But nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows, Tony. And again, Brendan Rodgers is telling us one thing. We have to listen to it. You know, we've got to have to believe what he's saying. But is he really injured? That is the question. I mean, personally, you're going to have to trust the player if he's injured or not. But the more looking at it now, Tony, the more I don't think he's injured. I really don't. Because they are trying to sell him, but I don't think he really wants to go, but I think it could be in the summer. Do you know what I mean? But if you can get Maddison, that'd be brilliant. And then we'll see if he's really injured or not.
Yeah. I mean, John, it's just a strange.
And also as well,
like in the World Cup, he was training.
Yeah. Then he got injured. Then he got injured, didn't he? But I'll be honest with you, right? I mean, this is getting a bit boring now about the Maddison link to Newcastle United sort of thing. It's either Hotman or it doesn't. And Ben Rodgers going to come out and say, look, he ain't going anywhere. He stays at Leicester. That's it. And I hope the jurors asking Eddie Howe the question as well. Are we going to have to Maddison as well? Are we going to get him this January? I hope it's a yes or no. And just put it in the bed. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to get him, move on. Move on. Because this has gone on for months now. It really, really has. So either you do it or you don't.
I mean, John, it's just, I see where you're coming from on that. But I'm just like, I'm not sure what's going on here, but we know Eddie Howe won't say that yes or no, will he? Because he's not going to say nothing, is he, Eddie Howe? That's the problem. But I don't know. I really don't know, John. I don't know if this, if this will happen in this window or whether it'll happen in the summer. I mean, he's only got 18 months left on his deal. But remember, Norwich will be hoping Leicester sell him because they get 15% of any sell-on clause, any sell-on fee. And it's got to be paid straight up front to Norwich as well. There's no instalments involved in that.
Absolutely, because Norwich want a slice of the pie as well. You just said 15%, but Norwich are hoping Leicester can get more money, so Norwich can make more money. Do you know what I mean? But for me personally, right? I mean, this is just a saga now. As either he comes or he doesn't. One of the managers got to put it in the bed. I know Eddie is still going to quite and see it, but Brendan Rodgers will have to come and say, "Look, he's going nowhere." Right? I haven't heard Brendan Rodgers said he's going absolutely nowhere. Right? Or he said he's training. That's it. But I just hope we find out the answer one way or another so we can move on to other targets. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can't get to Maddison, go out and get Sergei Milinkovic-Savic for Lazio. Get him. You know what I mean? Because we're linked to the guy as well.
Yeah, absolutely, John. I mean, it is just a strange one, but they need to sort it out whether he's leaving there or not. It's just one we'll just have to wait and see, won't we, John? Unfortunately, I mean, regarding this guy, we said this just before the show. Can't see this guy coming. He didn't look really great the other night against us. If I'm honest, I would think he's probably going to go abroad in the summer, if I'm honest. He just didn't really do much the other night for me. And but there again, a lot of that Leicester team looked really poor the other night, didn't they, John?
I know. I mean, look, I think Tielemans had his chance to stake a claim for a move to Newcastle in the summer. But unfortunately, I mean, the way he played, I wouldn't give him a 4 out of 10 because he was poor. He really was poor, Tielemans. I'm very disappointed. And also, he was poor against us at the KP as well because he got owned by Joelinton and Bruno. Absolutely owned. Do you know what I mean? He just couldn't stamp his authority into the game. I would have hooked him for half time. But at the end of the day, we know he's got talent. We know he's fantastic long shooting. We know he's a Belgian international. But at the end of the day, right, it's half start at Leicester. He's definitely away. And you're right, you probably end up going abroad. But the question is, though, which other club is after Tielemans? I can't find no one.
The link with Arsenal's gone really quiet, John, hasn't it?
Have.
So, are people looking at his attitude and thinking, is his attitude really there? I mean, it's just bizarre, isn't it? Really. And we just have to wait and see.
But he will not be coming to us, Tony. He'll not be coming to us, mate. Honestly, personally, I wouldn't have him. I've always said that, if you don't get Maddison, go out and get Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. I mean, there's been reports today in Italy saying that we offered something like 52 million quid for the guy. I also want him as well, but we offered him the most money. Lazio will sell if the money was right. He's 27-year-old, right? And I think the lad wants a new challenge. And hopefully the Premier League is that step up. Do you know what I mean? I love this player. And I'm a big fan of Milinkovic-Savic as well. And he's good in the air. He gets on the end of things from free kicks as well. His shooting's fantastic. But boy, he can tackle as well. But he'll probably get about 10 bookings a season. But he's 6'4", and he is an absolute diamond. Get him in that midfield. I tell you what, it'd make it easier for players like Joelinton and Bruno as well. Bruno would definitely go forward as well if you get Milinkovic-Savic. What a player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, you know more Serie A than what some of us do because you watch it more than what I don't really watch Serie A, if I'm honest, John. But yeah, like you say, he's a fantastic talent. I mean,
he is.
It's just how much would we get him for? That's the thing. And would 52 million do it, John? Do you think? 52 million?
On market value,
No.
60 million euros, so it works out to be about 50 million quid. And he's got 18 months left on his contract as well. Excuse me. 18 months left on his contract. If you look at his stats so far, he's made 16 appearances in Serie A, 3 goals, 7 big assists. He's been booked 6 times though, right? And then he played in the Europa League, 6 appearances, 2 goals. And yeah, he's been absolutely great this season. Milinkovic Savic and Maurizio Sarri. He's the coach of that. So remember him, ex-Chelsea, Sarri Ball. This guy, he's still a cracking manager. I don't care what anyone say. This guy is a brilliant manager. Very untreated at Chelsea, by the way. Right? Never stood a chance. And you know what? I think he's doing well at Lazio. I really do think that.
Yeah, there he is, John. He's on screen now.
He is. I tell you what, he's Premier League ready. Premier League ready, that guy. Premier League ready. And I tell you what, we offered him, I think we offered him quite a bit of money for this guy, by the way. And it'd be worth 50 million to, according to a couple of reports, by the way. And he received 9 million quid a year salary. 9 million if he joins Newcastle with a whopping 12 million signing on fee.
Yeah. I mean, I'll bring his stats up on screen so guys can have a look as well. If Savic. Right, here we go. So, if you can see that now, guys, yeah. So, this is his stats. He's Serbian, he's 27-year-old, so he's 6'3", right-footed, midfield centre. Player value is about 62 million euros, so that's probably about 60 million. His strengths are his positioning, playmaking, and his high pressing, which is exactly how we like our team to play, with a high press. And no outstanding weaknesses, so he'd totally fit in our team, wouldn't he? Just there's his heat map there. I mean, they're massive red areas here are where he plays most predominantly on the right. But, you know, he's all over the place, even gets back in defence to help out as well. So, you know, he's got it all, hasn't he? He's all action.
He is.
He's played 16 games, started 15. He's been in the team of the week for 4 times as well this season. He scored 3 goals. Okay, he's not going to be an out-and-out goal scorer because he's a central midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got 7 assists as well. So, I mean, even better. Yes, his accurate crosses are only 13%, but it's his long balls are 59% accurate. From his own half, that 88% accurate. And, I mean, you know, this guy, I think, you know, yes, he looks a good player, John, by what you said. And, yeah, stats don't lie, and they're very good stats. But, John, this is where I'm going to come in now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are linked with another player, John, and this link I've just seen today, and let's just say this is a player that I actually saw last January and thought, wow, he would look good in a Newcastle shirt, but we've never been linked to him until this January. And before I go to him, John, I'm just going to nip into some comments first.
Yeah.
And I'll just keep you under suspense a bit more. Gary says, Sky Sports put the highlights on their website. I gather you mean for the Chelsea goal. All right, okay, then, mate, no worries. We'll check that out after. Wayne says, why don't they just let him come? He wants to on Maddison. Yeah. Foxy says, hopefully we stay away from Maddison for now. See how he does, returning from injury and returning this summer for a deal. Again, Foxy, this injury, it's weird because he was training at the World Cup and he's come back. So I really don't get this. I just think it's the Leicester owners wanting him out and they don't want him getting injured, if I'm honest. Tielemans is we overrated, says Andrew. And Gary says, that heat map looks like a pair of lungs looking at the shape of it, lads. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, it's, you know, but just shows you the guy's got pace and, you know. So, yeah, so the next player I'm going to bring on the screen, and obviously, like I say, this is a player. If last January we were in for him, I would have absolutely wanted him at the club. We weren't even linked with him last January. We weren't even linked with him in the summer. Which, to be fair, I was pretty surprised we weren't. But we are linked with him this January. And he will come on screen in just one moment. And there it is. So this guy is Lovro Majer of Rennes. He's a clone. To me, I always call him a clone of Luka Modric because he looks a bit like Luka Modric as well. Can't say he's his love child because he's certainly not that. But I mean, this guy is a baller. Let's just say he's not a bad player at all. As I say, he plays for Stade Rennes. He's a midfielder. He plays as attacking midfielder, or he can play as a midfield centre as well. He's 24. He's 5'10". His strengths are high pressing and playmaking. So again, the high press, which is very important in our game, which was what we played at Newcastle. He would fit in well. He has no outstanding weaknesses. His value is only 24 million euros. This season, he's played 15 games, started 7 of them. He scored 1 goal and he's got 2 assists as well. And his accurate crossing per game is 28% as well. So that's even more than Jacob Murphy again. Not that we're picking on Jacob Murphy, by the way. He scored 1 left foot goal this season, which is his only goal that he's got. Also, John, in the chat, per game, his accuracy is 85% with his passing, 80% from his in the opposition half, 82% from his own half, 59% with a long ball, and his chip passes are 70% accurate every game. He's had 1 error that led to a shot, but no errors that have led to any goals, or he hasn't committed any penalties either. And his disciplinary record is 2 yellow cards all season. This guy, I think, is a superb player, John. He went to the World Cup with Croatia. 24. I mean, he's young. He fits into the mould that we want younger players in the club. I mean, I'll go off his stats last season, John, as well. And last season, he started 21 out of 29 games, was in Team of the Week 3 times, scored 6 goals and 8 assists last season. And again, his crossing was 28% per game. And he's, so this guy can play, John. And if he was in the team and Eddie Howe, with Eddie Howe, I think Eddie Howe could push probably another 20 or 30% out of this guy. 24 million euros, probably get him for about 20 million, John, from Rennes. Do you know much about him, John?
Honestly, I saw him in the World Cup, but that guy, I never watched him play, by the way, I can't lie, but apparently, obviously, Stade Rennes rates him very highly, and they're having a good season as well. I think in the top 6, by the way, in Ligue 1. And Luka Modric looking like as well. Wow. He does look like Luka Modric, doesn't he, by the way? Got the same number. And he's going to be better than Luka Modric in the years to come? Probably not. But, he looks a good player. We're definitely looking for a midfielder as well. And obviously, Bruno knows a lot about this guy because obviously he's playing the French league as well. So he'll probably know more about this guy. But look, I mean, other clubs are after him as well. I believe the 2 Madrid clubs as well, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid are after him as well. So it's going to be very tough to price this guy with Rennes. But when I take him, I take very good players. I mean, he's international as well. Why not? And see how he does. But I'll be honest with you, I just don't know a lot about this guy, to be fair.
I mean, Stade Rennes bought him for 12 million euros from Dinamo Zagreb in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably works out around about 10 million quid they paid for him. And but at Newcastle, he would flourish under Eddie Howe because Eddie Howe would just get that little bit extra out of him as well. I mean, guys in the comments, have you seen Lovro Majer play? I've seen a few highlights of him, and he's not a bad player at all. And again, like I say, he's 24, he's young. So you could bring him on. And he's nowhere near his peak yet either.
He's not, no. I mean, look, he looks a great talent. He looks a good talent. His contract's up, 2027. So he has signed a new contract back in October, by the way, and it doesn't run out until 2027. So he's going to be more than about 20 million euros. They're going to ask for big money for this guy. And like I said, 15 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists, and he looks a talent. And I'm sure bigger clubs will pick him up anywhere. I really, really do. He's an attacking midfielder, and I think this guy could do in the Premier League. And if he does, I just hope that would be a good club like Newcastle.
Yeah. And the Elves fan, Tony Beck, says, have you been linked with Modric, mate? Because he thought that's who it was. And he says, all right, they look alike. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I mean, yeah, Lovro Maia does look like Luka Modric, but yeah, it is frightening when you look at him how much he does look like him. But that's the latest link today, John. We linked with him now, so
yeah,
that's another link. I don't know how many players that is. That may be about 300 players already since the beginning of January, but you know, who knows, John?
Yeah. Anything could happen in football, you know. I mean, if we're going to payment side, we're going to sign this guy called Lovro Maia. People are going to say, who the hell is Lovro Maia? And, you know, I might have heard him by name, but never seen the guy play. But if you get him sort of thing, then I think it'd be an ideal signing. Do you know what I mean? In the midfield. But we've got so many midfielders as well. We've got Joe Willock, John Shelby as well. You know, Matt Longstaff is back. I think he'll be on this way. But look, at the end of the day, we just got to keep improving the team. Season in, season out.
Yeah. And this guy, not just with us, but with other clubs as well, all talk of this guy has gone really, really quiet. Marcus Thuram, I mean, nobody knows what's going on with him now. I mean, there's no talk of him going anywhere now, John, is there?
No, I mean, it looks like, I think he probably stayed Gladbach, and he probably walk away on a free in the summer sort of thing, you know what I mean? And that's a shame, because Gladbach can do with some money and probably command a bigger signing on fee. So I honestly think that Thuram is playing a clever game here, being a bit coy, and I think he'll probably wait till the summer and he just get a free signing.
Yeah, if we're after a CDM, John, and I keep banging on this player, but it's got to be this guy, Manu Kone. I mean, you know, we keep talking about him, John, and we keep hearing Newcastle's after a CDM. There he is. Pay the money. Go and get him. Just put a bid down to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Ask them if they want the Lascelles in part exchange as well. I mean,
yeah,
you know, Lascelles will do a good job for them.
I'll tell you what,
they can take Chris Wood as well if they want to strike.
Exactly. Well, Daniel Farke knows a lot about English football, so I don't see why not. But you're right. I mean, Jamal Lascelles and Chris would have to learn German, by the way, in quick time, which I doubt they will. But look, at the end of the day, I mean, I'd definitely take him. Or why did he just give the backer a part of the deal as well? Do you know what I mean? But Kone, I mean, it'd be worth rated about 35 to 40 million quid. That's what they want. And if you can get this guy, it's a fantastic investment, Tony, for 35 to 40 million quid on a young player. Brilliant investment. I think this guy will be in the Euros for France in 2024.
I mean, yeah, Johnny. I mean, he's a terrific prospect, a 21-year-old as well. He would just be, he would just be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I really would love to see this guy at Newcastle without a shadow of a doubt. Because, like I say, he's tremendous, John. And yeah, let's see if anything comes of it. Whether it does or not, I don't know, John. But yeah, we shall wait and see on that one. You know? But yeah, it's one of them. We just have to wait and see.
Absolutely. I mean, just wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, even this guy's quieting down the transfer market now, Mika Mudryk, I mean, that's gone quiet, not just with us, but with other clubs as well. He was dead on set going to Arsenal, and all of a sudden that's gone really quiet. So don't know what's happening with that, but nothing to do with us because we're not buying him, are we, John? So
Nah, definitely not. There's just no way. I mean, they call him the Ukrainian Neymar. People are calling him, right? And I just have to laugh because this guy is playing in Ukrainian league, right? And no one ever heard of. I'm not gonna lie, right? And they're asking for the stupidest amounts of money, so around about 60 million quid. And the thought that he's not played in the Stellar League like La Liga, Serie A, and the Bundesliga. Yeah, to come from the Ukrainian league into the Premier League, it's tough. It's very, very tough. You know what I mean? And whoever pays that sort of money, well, good luck. I don't think it'd be Arsenal. Chelsea might want him though. I think they probably hijack the move. Stop him from going to Arsenal and go to Chelsea instead. Do you know what I mean? They just buy anything that moves in that.
Yeah. I mean, this has gone a bit quiet, Ivan Fresneda, but according to Fabrizio Romano, the club's in talks with his agent, so maybe that's the thing that's getting sorted out now. But then again, that could just pop up all of a sudden. It could just pop up at any day and say, oh, by the way, we've just signed Ivan Fresneda from Real Valladolid. So that could come up. But yeah, that's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it, John? That deal.
It has for a couple of days, like, you know what I mean? But like you said there, they could be talking to an agent as well. Things can change. Things can happen behind the scenes. And you know what it is? Again, nobody knows. And like I said before, it could just pop up just like that. And then we got to play through the door. So we got to be patient, see what happens. And the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also this guy as well, we've talked about him, Alan Varela, Boca Juniors. That seems a bit quiet, but according to Newcastle World, Martin Simpson, he says Newcastle's interest in the Boca Juniors star is plausible, but Chelsea have closed their pursuit now on Enzo Fernandez. Bit of a strange one that Chelsea's pulled out of that deal, but maybe they don't want to spend too much money, John. But also, another player that we were sort of looking at or being linked with, John, was and Foxy's spoken about him a few times as a player called Danilo, or Danilo, however you want to pronounce his name.
Danilo.
From Palmeiras and or Palmeiras, however you pronounce that. Apparently, Forest are in talks now and buying him for £18 million plus add-ons. So, Forest are looking at him, John.
Yeah, I think that'd be a major, major coup for Forest, but Arsenal wanted him for a couple of months, and that's gone so quiet. But at the end of the day, right, I mean, if they can get him, I think that'd be a cracking signing. And I hope, for Forest's sake, he'd be in the first team. And playing the first team, they've got to sign 25 players this season. And Stevie C has got to find the right balance. But at the minute, they're doing good.
Yeah. And are you surprised, John? Like, probably a lot of people are surprised in the chat as well. Man United today announced that they have signed the Burnley striker, Wout Weghorst, on loan for the rest of the season. I mean, who saw that coming? And why on earth do they want Wout Weghorst? He didn't really do much in the Premier League. Are you surprised at that, John?
Excuse me. I'm quite surprised because obviously Ten Hag knows a lot about this guy. Obviously he's Dutch and he's got to have faith. I mean, he's doing a fantastic job, by the way, Ten Hag. But obviously, if you trust Weghorst, don't forget he is a decent striker. He's only 7 goals away from breaking the record of Wolfsburg before he moved to Burnley. But at the end of the day, it's all about playing a style of football. Burnley just hit and hope, hit the long balls and that. You know what I mean? That's not his style of play. But I think Weghorst could do a job with United. I really do. I mean, look, I know a lot of people say that he's not that great, but check his stats in the Bundesliga. This guy is absolutely brilliant. And I think Ten Hag could knock in the ship. And United wanted the striker for quite a while and I wanted the number 9. Now they've got the number 9.
I mean, he scored 2 goals against Argentina in that quarter-final. I mean, this season for Besiktas, where he's been at, 16 games, 8 goals, and 4 assists. So a goal every 1 and 2. And yes, we know that's Turkish Superliga, but yeah, Wout Weghorst, it's a strange one, but let's see how he does at Man United. Tony Beck, the Sheffield fan, says, one thing, lads, exciting times to come. Absolutely exciting times, isn't it, John?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got a cup game to come for 2 weeks' time. I've got to get a ticket as well for the home game. I can see if I can get a day off sort of thing as well for the match. I'm going to have to take 2 days off for it as well. Go up on the Tuesday or go up on the Monday, come back on a Wednesday. Do you know what I mean? And, but I've got to be careful with holidays this year, man. But, I was hoping the match was going to be on a Wednesday. It's the second leg on the Tuesday, 1st of Feb, or the 2nd of Feb, Tony, because apparently it's on the 1st.
I don't know, John, because I haven't seen anything confirmed when it's on. I mean, let's have a look in a moment. Hang on, I'll just have a look, John, because normally they have it on. So, let's have a look. Well, Sky haven't announced anything for the game being on TV or anything yet, which is strange. Just let me double check, John. I'll just see if Newcastle's actually announced anything. Because you'd think that they would sort this out, wouldn't you?
You thought so.
Right, January. Doesn't say it, John. That's the thing. It's let's go back to the homepage. See if it says anything on the homepage. Maybe they haven't sorted the fixtures out yet. What the dates are.
Also, the tickets out as well. Do you know what I mean? Tickets for the game. And how many tickets per season ticket? Will it be 2 per season tickets? It's got to be 2.
Yeah, Newcastle's not saying anything. They just said ticket details of both games will be announced in due course. First leg at the tie will be played at St Mary's the week commencing the 23rd of January. In the second leg on Tyneside, the week commencing the 30th. So Newcastle haven't even done so. I know some people have said they know what the dates are, but I've not seen anything.
I hope that game's on the Thursday, Tony. If that match is on the Thursday, that would be perfect. That would be perfect for us, to know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah. Chris says, there are rumours that Makoko is 22, not 18, may have to do a club and check his teeth. I mean, Chris, we don't want to go there again. We've been there twice with players, Chris, haven't we? With players who have had like about 3 or 4 birth certificates. Obafemi Martins is one of them. And the other one is Chancel Mbemba. You know, is Mbemba 35 or is he 25? We don't know because he's got about 3 or 4 different birth certificates like Martins did as well. So, do you remember that, John? Don't know how old he was.
I know. Listen, at the end of the day, right, I can't lie. I mean, nobody knows his age at all. Do you know what I mean? It's just very strange. He looks a bit older as well, by the way. But he's 20. I think he's 22 when he came, and he looks a lot older than that. He did.
He does, doesn't he? Tony says, "Yeah, Tony John. I'm a Wednesday fan, obviously, but always followed Newcastle as a young lad. And my all-time favourite Sheffield Wednesday player was Chris Waddle. If you get the link, lol. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, Chris Waddle was a legend up here, and he went to Tottenham, then went on to Marseille, wasn't it? And absolutely fantastic in France, and then came back to England and went to Sheffield. And quality player was Chris Waddle. Great left winger, one of the best, wasn't he, John?
Was he ever? I mean, he's quick, he's direct. He was at Newcastle. He was fantastic. Brilliant for Tottenham as well, by the way. A legend of Marseille, and you have to crack it at Marseille. If you don't, you got problems. But he cracked it so well. And then on to Wednesday, Wasn't as quick, but he had a footballing brain and he scored some cracking goals.
Yeah. So we've looked at a few players there tonight, John, and I mean, yes, we've got another 19 days till the window closes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think, John, between now and the closure of the transfer window, will there be any players in the club?
Yes, we still get 3 players in.
Yeah, I'm that way as well, John, because I'm not worrying. People are panicking, but I don't panic because, look, there's 19 days to go, guys. It's a long wait. 19 days is a long time to do a deal. And the thing is, you can do 1, 2, 3 deals within no time. So don't be impatient, guys. Things will happen. We're just taking our time because we're doing things properly. We're not Chelsea. We're not Todd Bowley who go in rushing in and going, boom, oh, we'll have him. We'll give you the money for him. Or even take a player on loan for the rest of the season. Taking a player on for the rest of the season, that's going to go back to Atletico Madrid. I don't see the point in that, to be honest. But, if that's the way they want to be, let Chelsea get on with it, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
And Tony says, yeah, he turned players inside out, made the game look so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once Chrissy Waddle dropped that shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
you were in trouble. And, he was a classy player. And currently half-time in the Premier League, it's Fulham 1, Chelsea 0. So that is the current score at the moment. And as the table stands at the moment, Fulham are 6th above Liverpool and Chelsea are in 10th position. 3 points outside the top 7. So there we go. Right, guys, so we come to the end of the show now, unfortunately. And John, would you like to tell the viewers where they can find you, please?
No problem. Thanks for having us on. Tony's been fantastic yet again. You can find us on Twitch, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, John Sinclair TV, on Insta, John Sinclair 50, lower cases, and on Twitter, it's John_NUFC42. And I do match previews, reviews. I also do watch along sometimes, and I decide to do it, or the breaking news, small clips as well, and press conference reactions, which I need to get back to very soon. And yes, just check us out. And if you're new to the channel as well, and there's the channel name there, John Sinclair TV, hit that subscribe button, please. And I'm on the road for 4,200 long term. I want to get 5K minimum. Thank you.
So guys, check me out. I'm on Twitter at TonyTooney31. Follow me and I'll follow you back. I also do Twitch as well at TonyTooney31 on Twitch. Also, you can find me on here. It's all Black and White TV. I've currently got another 2 subscribers tonight, so that is during the show. So that is now 267. So I'm 33 away from 300 now. But yeah, guys, I'll probably be back with a show tomorrow, but just look out for it on the socials. But if you've hit that bell notification, you'll be notified anyway of what shows are coming up, guys. So before I go, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel with the search results and makes it found more easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And like I say, I'm currently on 267 subscribers. So thank you very much indeed to each and every one of you who've subscribed so far. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for the next show. And it's onwards and upwards for Newcastle. We're in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. We've got Southampton away first leg, back at home for the second leg. Can we get to the final for the first time in 47 years? At this time, go one step further and win the thing and I believe it'll be the first time we've won the League Cup as well. So it would be absolutely brilliant if we did go ahead and win it. Serial winners who have won it 8 times. Manchester City went out crashing out to Southampton 2-0 last night. Liverpool, we know, went out. They were the holders. They've gone already. So it's the final 4. we play Southampton, and Forest have got Manchester United as well. So, guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you later. So, bye-bye for now.
Bye bye.